Welcome to Smart Garden, where we help you grow plants without getting a surprise visit from the FBI. Look, we all love gardening. It's relaxing, it's wholesome, until you realize that your cute little backyard flower is actually a federal crime. In the West, you don't even need to be a drug lord to get in trouble. Thanks to insane ecological laws and petty neighborhood lawsuits, the wrong weed by your fence can literally destroy your house's value, ruin your credit score, or have the EPA raiding your greenhouse in full hazmat suits. Today, we are looking at 15 plants that can ruin your life. Grab your coffee, check your yard, and let's pray your HOA isn't watching. 1. Japanese knotweed. Meet the ultimate boss of real estate nightmares. This isn't just a weed, it's a financial wrecking ball wrapped in green leaves. It literally grows through concrete, destroys foundations, and tears down brick walls. If a bank surveyor spots even a tiny leaf of Japanese knotweed on your property, congratulations, your house value just plummeted by 80%, and your chances of getting a mortgage are officially dead. It gets worse. If this botanical demon creeps under the fence into your neighbor's yard, they can legally sue you for tens of thousands of dollars. It's cheaper to feed a real dragon in your backyard than to deal with this eco-monster. 2. Kudzu. They call this one the vine that ate the South, and they aren't joking. Imported from Asia, kudzu turned out to be a green alien invader that grows up to a foot a day. Left your car in the driveway for a long weekend? Too bad. It belongs to the foliage now. Kudzu completely swallows abandoned houses, covers power lines, and suffocates entire forests. In the southern U.S., planting or transporting this green monster is a direct ticket to a massive federal environmental fine. It's a plant with a zero-tolerance policy. If you see it coming toward your porch, don't grab a lawnmower, grab your passport and run. 3. Giant hogweed. If Mother Nature decided to engineer a biological weapon, it would look exactly like giant hogweed. This massive, alien-looking plant can grow up to 14 feet tall, but its true horror lies in its toxic sap. If it gets on your skin and hits the sunlight, it triggers horrific third-degree chemical burns and permanent blistering. In the UK, leaving this monster unchecked on your property violates the Wildlife and Countryside Act. The government will slap you with heavy fines because your backyard has officially become a hazardous waste zone. It's the only plant that requires a full hazmat suit just to say hello. 4. Water hyacinth. This plant features beautiful lavender flowers, looks amazing in a pond, and can easily land you in a federal prison. In states like Florida and Texas, water hyacinth is treated like an ecological supervillain. It multiplies at an insane speed, forming thick green carpets that completely block boats, choke out native fish, and ruin local ecosystems. Importing, selling, or even moving this plant across state lines is strictly illegal. One day, you're enjoying a cute water lily aesthetic, and the next day, you're explaining to a judge why you brought an environmental bioweapon into the Sunshine State. 5. English ivy. In the UK, English ivy is a cozy, historic vibe on old castle walls. But bring it over to the US Pacific Northwest, and it instantly becomes public enemy number 1. In states like Oregon and Washington, this innocent-looking ground cover is classified as a highly dangerous, noxious weed. It climbs native trees, adds thousands of pounds of weight until they snap, and rots your house's siding. Selling or planting it will trigger massive municipal fines from city inspectors. Your cute British cottage aesthetic is actually a fast-track ticket to a neighborhood dispute and a ruined property value. Drop a comment below if you've ever fought any of these green monsters in your yard, and hit that like button to keep the EPA away from our channel. Now, let's move to the next block. 6. Deadly nightshade, belladonna. This is absolute botanical evil masquerading as a snack. It produces shiny, sweet-tasting berries that look exactly like delicious wild cherries. The catch? Just 2 or 3 of them can be fatal for a child, and a single leaf can kill an adult. While it's surprisingly not illegal to own, growing it near your property line is a legal landmine. If a neighborhood kid wanders over, mistakes it for dessert, and gets hurt, Your local police won't arrest you, but a ruthless injury lawyer definitely will. It's the ultimate way to turn a peaceful backyard into a high-stakes courtroom drama. 7. Poison ivy, poison oak. The ultimate trap for a lazy homeowner. This isn't a federal offense, but it is a fast track to financial bleeding. If you neglect your yard and let this itchy nightmare grow over your fence onto a public sidewalk, you are in deep trouble. Thanks to strict city ordinances, municipal inspectors will slap you with massive fines every single week until it's cleared. Worse, if a mailman or a neighbor brushes past your fence and gets a horrific, blistering rash, they can legally sue you for medical bills. Your laziness won't just make you itch, it will empty your bank account. 8. Oleander. This beautiful, flowering shrub is incredibly popular all over California and Florida, but every single inch of it is pure venom. The leaves, the flowers, the twigs, everything can stop your heart. There are terrifying, documented cases of campers dying simply because they used an innocent-looking oleander branch to roast marshmallows over a campfire. It's perfectly legal to buy at Home Depot, but many strict homeowners associations banned it entirely. If your dog or a neighbor's pet accidentally chews on a stray leaf, you're looking at a devastating vet bill and a massive civil lawsuit. 9. Salvia divinorum. Do not confuse this with the innocent sage you put in your Thanksgiving turkey. This innocent-looking green plant is a powerful hallucinogen. In the UK, it is fully criminalized under the Psychoactive Substances Act, and it's banned in the vast majority of U.S. states. Cultivating or even possessing a single potted salvia plant on your windowsill isn't treated like a gardening mistake. The law treats it exactly like holding a bag of heavy, illicit substances. One day you're experimenting with exotic herbs, and the next day you are explaining your green thumb to a criminal defense attorney. 10. Peyote cactus. Meet a tiny, slow-growing button cactus that can trigger a massive federal raid. Because it contains mescaline, the U.S. government puts it under the absolute strictest federal Schedule I ban. You cannot buy it, sell it, or keep it on your kitchen counter as a quirky succulent. The only people legally allowed to grow and use peyote are registered members of the Native American Church inside specific tribal reservations for ancient religious ceremonies. For anyone else, this little potted plant on a sunny windowsill is a one-way ticket to a felony charge and a long stay in federal prison. That is a crazy lineup of botanical outlaws, isn't it? But we are just getting started, and the legal paradoxes are about to get even weirder. Before we dive into the final heavy hitters, make sure to subscribe to Smart Garden. We keep your thumbs green and your record clean. Now, let's step straight into the gray zone of the law, where a common supermarket purchase can suddenly turn you into a federal target. 11. San Pedro cactus. This is the ultimate legal paradox sitting right in your local Home Depot. You can walk into a supermarket, buy a San Pedro cactus, and legally put it on your porch as a beautiful decorative plant. No problem at all. But here is the catch. It contains mescaline. The exact second the police can prove you cut it, dried it, or processed it with the intent to extract that compound, you instantly transform from an innocent hipster gardener into a high-level manufacturer of Class A/Schedule I illicit substances. It is a plant that is 100% legal to look at, but 100% illegal to harvest. So, keep your knives away from it, or your next greenhouse will have iron bars. 12. Opium poppy. If you think the laws on poppies are relaxed in the West, think again. The DEA in the US and the Home Office in the UK take this flower incredibly seriously. You might think a few pretty red poppies look great in your flower bed, but cultivating them with knowledge of what they are is a federal crime. If federal agents decide your backyard plot looks a bit too intentional, the classic excuse of, "they just grew here naturally for decoration" will absolutely fail in court. A simple garden hobby can quickly spiral into a serious criminal case over unauthorized narcotic manufacturing. Grandmas across the country are out here accidentally playing Breaking Bad. 13. Coca bush. This Andean shrub is under a total global lockdown. Trying to buy coca seeds online, import them, or set up a secret hydroponic tent in your basement to grow it in the US or Europe is a guaranteed way to trigger a major federal raid. The plan is monitored closely by international customs and federal agencies. There is no gray area, no decorative excuse, and zero tolerance here. Attempting to sprout even a single one of these bushes will immediately slap you with some of the heaviest drug trafficking and manufacturing charges in the book. Unless you are a literal pharmaceutical corporation, do not even look at the seeds. 14. Psilocybin mushrooms. This is a terrifying trap because it can happen completely by accident. If you have an immaculately mowed lawn with some old mulch or a decaying tree stump, a few days of heavy rain can cause wild psilocybin mushrooms to sprout entirely on their own. In many Western jurisdictions, having a massive patch of these growing in your yard can look like an illegal manufacturing operation. If local authorities spot them, you could face serious charges and find yourself desperately trying to prove to a judge that you aren't an underground mycologist, just a victim of bad weather. Nature loves to prank your criminal record. 15. Cannabis. This is the ultimate comment section bait because everyone thinks they know the rules. Sure, cannabis is fully legal or decriminalized in many US states and all of Canada, but home cultivation is a legal minefield. Most legal places slap a strict limit on what you can grow, usually just 4 to 6 plants per household. If you get enthusiastic, show off your green thumb, and accidentally grow 7 or 8 plants without a massive, expensive commercial license, you cross the line into illicit cultivation. That extra plant is all it takes to bring a drug task force straight to your door. Know your local math before you plant. So, what's the final verdict for our protocol? Well, it turns out your local neighborhood is far more dangerous than any tropical jungle. You can spend years curating the perfect botanical paradise, only to realize your backyard is technically an illegal manufacturing plant, an eco-hazard zone, or a financial ticking time bomb. The line between a passionate suburban gardener and a federal target is incredibly thin, sometimes just one single cannabis plant or a rogue cactus thick.